I just try to keep my students, the ones that stay in contact, I try to just be real positive every time, when and just lift them up because I have, quite a few seniors this year in choir and they're, I know that's got to be heartbreaking for them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, all right. So I can't actually stay for your guys' meeting, but that's why I asked Caleb if he would call in because he's your chairperson. So if there's anything that you guys have questions about, he can, I don't know, or want to know more about that I can try to dig into for you, then he can let me know about that. But I'm gonna make him the host, and I'm gonna leave my camera on though. I mean, sorry, my computer on, but I'm going to make him the host. So when you guys are done, he can just end the meeting, but it's going to record still on my computer. So I'm just going to turn my microphone off and my camera off. And you guys can just kind of spitball and hopefully get some ideas. But I will have my phone. So if you guys have any questions, you can text me too. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hi,
Bye.
Caleb. Hello,
Hi.
Ashley.
So my computer shut down. What did she say before she left?
Alyssa is not going to be here for the meeting, but she's
Okay.
leaving her computer running to record the meeting so that if anyone misses, she can send the video to them.
Okay.
All right. So, since you're on right now, Elizabeth, can you talk about what scheduling looks like for you at Hammond High, as far as you know so far?
I mean, right now, so we already had the block schedule system. So for us, it's nice because it's already like that. Teachers are coming in every day. And at first we thought that we'd have to record ourselves for an hour and a half as a Zoom meeting during the time that the class would be scheduled, but they said, no, don't worry about that. That's too stressful because of internet. So basically we create assignments and we put it up. I made a Google website. I really recommend that. It's super, super handy. I have everything on there. I can have like pre-recorded warm-ups. I can put my music up there with being protected so that only students can view it for copyright reasons. So I can have everything accessible to everybody, but the actual music itself, you need a password for. And that's been helpful. But yeah, we go into empty buildings and our music building is separated from everything else. So it's very, very quiet, but you get a lot done.
Nice. Anybody else want to talk about what their school is planning on doing scheduling wise, as far as you know?
My principal, he sent a schedule. He says it's highly confidential, not to share, but I mean, it's basically A and B days with 4 classes meeting a day, 3 lunch hours. That's all I know. But at the rate things are changing, who knows what it's going to look like.
We have the same, and we are not to share it yet either, because I think minutes and times specific have to be approved from Covington, and so I don't think they wanted that on social media for parents and stuff to make plans around or express an opinion on yet. So same, but it was 4 classes, and one of them we go to every time, and the other ones are longer, but it's like the Monday people I won't see again till the next Monday. Like the Tuesday people I won't see again till then, so forth and so on. So it is blocked, but we only see our people once a week, and then sometimes twice a week if they're on the every other Friday rotation. I think every high school in the parish has to have that system now. As far as the minutes and which classes are broken down on what day, I think that's an administration issue, but is my understanding that all the junior highs and high schools on the hybrid model had to be in that schedule.
Cool. Has anyone received guidance in terms of classes changing, like you're just doing normal choir and piano classes / guitar, or you're not allowed to have choir classes, because I know that at the lower levels, that's a thing that they haven't even included choir in the schedules.
They've included it at Lakeshore. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I have some activities I've already planned, and we're going to use Sight Reading Factory as well. You know, I'm sure y'all are familiar with that. But yeah, they have me scheduled with piano and everything. So I'm just kind of, you know, waiting to see, because it does change, you know.
Yeah. I went to go see our principal, and I was asking him about the shower curtains and making frames and trying to think about that. So toying with that. And he was saying, he's like, well, hang in, let's call Rosalind and talk about it. And I was going to go with keyboards the whole time anyway and not sing, but they were thinking that I was putting up the shower curtains because I wanted to sing. And Rosalind said, no singing for the entirety of phase 2. There's no singing. So like they both made it clear to me that like parish wide, we're not supposed to sing for that entire phase, that any singing they would do would be from home.
Is singing allowed in phase 3?
It looks like it, unless that changes.
That's what I was told. Also, I mean, the kids will have masks on. I don't see a problem with them. I mean, I'm just going to wait until they tell me I can't do it, of them humming their parts and just having silent rehearsals. You know, we all probably, you know, have had that at one time or another.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you can always do rhythm and things like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to really focus on a lot of piano skills for the first 9 weeks with my voice student, choir students, just because that's something I've always wanted to do anyway. And now that we have the time, I figured it's really going to be helpful. So we're going to spend a lot of time, piano skills, picking out voice parts, a lot of music appreciation, music theory kind of approach.
Yeah,
and
right.
In 9 weeks, I think Melanie mentioned this. She has access to chimes, and so do I. And I think we're going to incorporate that into our students. You know, it'll be just a different approach to reading music. I think they'll really appreciate it. They're not singing, which would still be abiding by the rules. And so I think that first semester approach, just to get them really, really reading and focusing on music theory, notation, I think that really helped them for the second semester, especially if we're allowed to sing at that point.
Right.
That's my hope.
I'm going to try to have them learn to make their own rehearsal tracks through keyboard and Google Classroom and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of like a weird, cool idea that for much later in the year, I was thinking about. I'm in a text group with Kevin and Anthony and Andrea Ramsey, and a friend of Andrea's had an outdoor concert with like quartets, but she had the kids, it was adults, it was a community choir, using megaphones. And right, and I think I'm going to try to do, for the way end of the year, an outdoor concert with small groups or duets and trios singing through megaphones. And I'm going to see if I can get the Tammany Trace and have it be like a story, like a walk-through concert, and they'll do it a couple times in a row. So it's keeping moving. It's not an audience sitting still, and it's small groups and megaphones instead of amplification that you'd have to sanitize. They'd have their own. You can buy those cheap plastic megaphones for $1 a piece.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that. But besides that, first semester, everything I can think of that's relevant to singing that I can use through teaching it through keyboard.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn theory anyway, is piano, I think.
I was going to start with like using hand chimes, but the sight reading materials I already have, just so they get used to looking for a single note, like this person is me, this person is Ray, this person is Doe, or whatever, and we're playing like the regular, you know, I use that yellow essential sight singing book at the beginning of the year, and so I feel like that's where I'm going to start, just so they get used to and hopefully form a sound memory with like, oh, that was right, or oh, that was in the wrong time, or oh, that was, you know, and you have to like pay attention. Then I found these two cool Coldplay arrangement, Viva La Vida and clocks for chimes that I think, you know, they may get into and then record once we kind of get them together. The part that I don't know yet is like if I have 4 kids on Monday and then like 20 kids on Wednesday, then it, you know, significantly impacts what I can do. And then I thought about like we can play to a click track and then I can combine them. Anyway, it's just a lot of uncharted waters of technology I don't know how to do yet. And I'm just trying to figure out the amount that I am comfortable with, like committing to learning, I guess. Like right now I'm learning the like Google Classroom stuff. I've done the like Google training. I'm trying to get some lessons and assignments like put together. I'm just finding it to be like very time consuming and because I don't know any of this yet. And I've never been a PowerPoint presentation kind of teacher. It's all been like, I literally draw notes on the whiteboard with markers. And then they either nod and don't write anything because that's the kind of what happens, or they draw it in their notebooks. I never see what they draw. It could be complete garbage, but anyway, so this is a whole different, like, it's just a whole new playbook.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm trying to like navigate with is like, what is a healthy level of like committing to learning? Because I'm going to be very honest with you guys, like I'm not sleeping well. I've been like breaking out in hives. Like I really am very worried about how to be a good teacher in this world, because this is so outside of what I know how to do well. And especially with 2-hour classes. I taught in block schedule for 1.5 years when I first started teaching, and I hated it. I found I could not get the kids to pay attention for that long. I found by the end of the 3rd block, I was exhausted because like, it was just, I felt like I was performing. And by hour 6 of that, I had almost nothing left. Like I went home and like, I mean, I'm talking like it was tears every day. I was exhausted. I had nothing left. And you know, at that point I didn't come home to a 1-year-old. And I know this is not like my counseling session. I'm so sorry to keep talking, but anyway.
Well, that's fine.
I guess like my challenge is I'm trying to figure out like how much, like, I guess the balance of like, how much do I commit to like doing video stuff? How much do I commit to like learning a whole new thing? Or how much do I do piano? Like, I don't know. I guess what y'all's thoughts are on navigating this, or as much as we can do like working together where it's, you know, we're not all reinventing the same wheels. Like, I feel like that's, you know.
I've never
Like,
taught blocks.
what is y'all's do you have a speech prepared for the first day? Just because I know our choir students, you know, they signed up to sing, and then my biggest worry is just trying to win them over to learn these piano skills and music theory skills. And you know, I'm kind of like wanting to adopt the philosophy, you know, to suck it up, buttercup, and none of us signed up for this. So
I've thought at length about that. I'm trying to formulate a pitch that is, that as choral singers, we've managed to stay comfortably under the radar for like our existence, a part of society, but not a big, loud football marching kind of part of society. And we're comfortable there. And now all of a sudden we're in this unique position where we are like on the beginning of the list of being outlawed. So I'm going to pitch it as it could go away. We know we can't do this now, but you have to be the torchbearers. Like the entire time, any of the reading stuff or the extra quizzes, I'm going to have articles about why we need it. Like just keep reinforcing like we're in exile, like we're, you know, making a noble sacrifice, and just, you know, sharing fun experiences, just like as part, even bell ringers or a chunk of time, like enrichment time where we're not sight reading or playing repertoire, just sharing and talking about why it matters. And then I had this other idea, which I may or may not get around to doing, but I was talking again to Anthony and Kevin, and we were like, since we can't send them to an all-state, what if we got like our seniors now who had been in all-state when TESFA was there, probably juniors and seniors were there when he was at ACDA. And what if we did like a group Zoom at some point that we could record with all of us and the kids, and our choirs and the kids who had done the ACDA with TESFA, could have memories like the stuff he said that was funny, and then we could watch videos of the concert of that. Or like another year, if you can think of a clinician who was really impactful at district or at Allstate, either of the Allstates, I'm sure they would do an hour sometime in the fall in one of our blocks to sit down, and we could make a lesson that's like, tell us your memories about this correlate. What did you take away 5 years down the road? Is there a warm up you remember, or your favorite song from one of these? And to the kids who had never gotten to do an Allstate, them sharing that, and then we could maybe Zoom with one of those guys.
Yeah, and actually, I remember what Andre Ramsey said in that workshop we had with Meg Fraser way back in March. I remember her saying she and several other composers are really welcoming doing live Zoom meetings with choir students. Just really keep them engaged. And that's when we were still, virtually learning that fourth quarter when everything was not required. But it was really, I think that would be really helpful. And I bet you, any composer we contacted, would be willing to have a meeting with our students just to say, hey guys, exactly what you just said. And it'd be really cool to, hey, I remember this piece we did last year. Well, guess what? We're going to talk with the composer in 5 minutes. So So
and think about like the clinicians, talk to your kids and think about those people that they remember forever and stuff that they said, and who would they like to see again in a Zoom situation, and ask them, this or that. How are they dealing with the pandemic? How are they, singing outside? What does it look like at the university where that clinician or composer is? And just kind of like commiserating, but being part of a mission to be the underground while it's silent,
Yeah.
So I'm looking to try to make lessons that look like more traditional education lessons geared around contact with clinicians we've had in the past that the kids remember fondly. So I want to fact find from them who are they curious what they're doing now. I know TESFA's always at the top of the list. They like Philip Kierstead too. Anybody else? Meg or Alyssa, she's always great, and most of them know her. Catching up,
Correct. I think my big concern are the students who have never done this or Allstate, or maybe for the time that they think they love singing, they're not quite sure, or the student who's been in choir all 4 years, but is that student, I'm never auditioning for district honor choir, and they just never will. It's just that, you guys know the student I'm talking about. It's those students who have been at Allstate district, I'm not worried about them and their commitment level, buy into anything we tell them, but it's this group of students who they like to sing, they're not going to be over here because that's just not their thing, but they still want to be in choir, you know what I mean?
Right. Like I wonder if, since we can't really give them that, like I wonder if the other students could make the case to them.
They will. They will.
Through that.
I love your idea. Actually, that's a great analogy to tell them on day one. We got to fight to keep this going. That's a great idea.
Are you picking out Christmas program music, or?
Not right now.
No.
Some of you aren't even starting yet, but I don't even, because I feel like I know as a student, they'd want a goal. And it's like, if it's gonna be there, it'd be great if they could have that goal, but we just don't know. So I don't know.
I even thought about, because part of our spring concert was going to be Lion King review, and I even thought about putting that out there for the spring, but then a part of me is like, I don't want to give them any potential repertoire, just because I'd hate, like I said yesterday, I'd hate to provide them with any kind of sense of false hope, because we're not even know where we're going to be next month, much less February or March. So I think this is just what I'm personally just going to do, is just stick to my plan for the fall semester and just keep on saying we're working on the spring, and not providing any sense of false hope. I hope it makes sense.
If we choose holiday stuff, I will probably choose stuff that's unison or that they already know, and have them try to play it. But if anything materializes where we'd be able to do some kind of holiday concert, it would be all unison carols or hymns or pop culture things that they already know, so that it would be an easy transition. And that's my best guess right now. I have no idea as far as spring, but if we do anything in December, it'll be unison stuff.
Yeah, and
How
for
do
us,
you say that, Ashley? Because I was
Round.
like concerned. You know, if my Monday is 7 sopranos, an alto, and a boy, you know,
I
and
know.
my
And it
Wednesday is
probably
like
will be.
two boys, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
3 girls that have no idea, and you know what, you know,
Yeah.
like it's got to be unison stuff. Otherwise, kids are going to feel so exposed and like,
Yep.
yeah.
you know, feel like they're walking in the room naked. You know, I know I would have as a high school kid. I'd be like, I'm not
Totally.
singing this wacko harmony part by myself. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm glad to hear you say that, because like that's what I was thinking, but I didn't know if I was like, you know, off
I
the
don't
mark.
think I'm going to do that to them or to me.
No, right. No, totally. I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's what I was, you know, thinking. When we can sing again, it's going to have to be,
Super duper uber easy.
I mean, like Mickey Mouse
Stress-free.
Baby, or like Poppy, you know, something that's not too awful that, you know, we can tolerate doing 2 hours every day.
Yeah.
You know, or like
Purely for the
a
joy of it.
musical theater, something that they like. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, this is not the year for, you know,
The Messiah.
impressing everybody with literature.
But I hate to even say the word music appreciation. But I feel like, you know, we're, in a normal year, we kind of bypass that part. And I think this is like a great opportunity to expose them to so many things. And I'm kind of excited about it. Just exposing them to tons of music theater, music history, class. I mean, anything. I think it's a great opportunity for us to do that this year, along with the piano skills and, you know, their music theory and such. I think it's gonna be great for them. It's gonna be a huge learning curve.
Pick a composer of the week, like for every week, and I've started little slideshows to put for like the home stuff. And then you can find tons of examples on CPDL that I think mean you can put online without any worry of copyright, unless I'm mistaken. But you know, I found some of those, which I'm happy to share and send a, you know, folder of. But like some people that, you know, would be interesting, and some madrigal-y kind of stuff they can listen to that we wouldn't be able to really ever sing, because, you know, we just don't have the voicing for it or whatever. Anyway, that was part of my idea for when they're at home. Because I also, and tell me what y'all think of this, like if they're singing at home and I have no way to tell them if what they're doing is right, should I not, like if it's an unaccessible assignment, like if I can't check it, then is that like, you know, I don't know, is it right or wrong to like send them home with something that I'm not going to spend the weekend listening to 50 recordings of, you know, like I'm just, I know
think
that's not,
fine.
yeah, I don't think that's something I can do. And I know they can sing at home, but I feel like I just want them to sing for fun at home. Like,
I think that is a great goal. I mean, I would say take the pressure off of them and you, and keep the joy of singing. Like I mean, my framework for this has been like, I'm going to assess them on really objective things and not worry about the grade, and make sure that they still celebrate what's joyful about it. So I don't know. That's my raft, my life raft.
Has anyone seriously considered incorporating virtual rehearsals outside of class time that involve singing?
Not with my experience on this Zoom business, because I tried that in the fourth quarter and it was next to a nightmare. I got so frustrated. I mean, it's just the communication lag, all the sounds going on. It was nearly impossible to do unless there's, you know, a better app or software out there that I know all my kids can use. While we're at the same time, please help me if you have any ideas, Caleb. Or
I mean, the
anybody.
main thing is everyone's internet can't necessarily be good enough. Like Zoom might be great, but if the internet is bad, then no matter what you use, it won't work.
let's see. I'm gonna look. John sent me something the other day. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Give me just a second. What is it? Smule, SMULE, the social singing app. You guys familiar with that? Are you guys? Nobody? It has great reviews. With what's the other one? The acapella app. I've used that a few times. Caleb, you've done it, haven't you? You've posted a few things. Yeah, that seems to work out really well. And I'm just thinking if I could do some, especially for my singers who are over here who really just missed a summer, I have to sing. If I put together some rehearsal tracks and use the acapella app or that Smule app, it seems really easy to use and give them their parts and put it together and produce videos. I guess that might be something to consider. Or for my beginning singers, like Ashley was saying, maybe just provide some rehearsal tracks and they just all sing in unison or something. I'm not sure. Caleb, how was your experience with your church choir putting together those videos?
Exhausting. I mean, I guess I'm used to the process now, but it's still time consuming. And like some people don't follow instructions, even though I remind them every time. And then I have to like edit the audio in order to like pull out things. But
so even with tracks you provide, there's still like a lag or the
no, it's more of a lady recording herself, but also recording the accompaniment track with it. Yeah.
And also probably like the dog and a door slam and fans.
Right. And how I specifically said, hold this last note for 4 beats and people hold it for 1 beat or 2 beats. Like
The great big cutoff, loud T on beat.
Yeah, I
T.
can just see my diva soprano, trying to milk every single line with even with the metronome. I'm like, girl. So what are y'all's ideas if we go completely virtual? Because I don't think that's far out of the realm of possibility. And what are y'all thinking if we have to do that and prove that we can do that as music educators?
Well, I think that it might even be easier to do virtual than the really crazy circumstances of being in person. Because everybody can sing at home.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
I do want to send that email to, I guess, the Lewis guy about the flat app and finding the best compatible Google Classroom recording thing. I think that's good. I don't know about you guys, but in trying to last spring and then now in trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I feel that there's too many hundreds of thousands of resources to effectively like scan through. And I keep searching like high school, Google Classroom, COVID curriculum or lessons to find like a couple of finished lessons out there. They've got to be there. So if you guys run across, I mean, here's a site of 5,000 links to go through, and some of them, and then the NAFME site, which is like a lot of justification, a lot of like advocacy, which is great. I'm on board. I'm sold. I don't need an advocacy article. I know why it's worth it. I know why we need the learning curve. All that. Check. Good. Give me like objectives, materials. Like somebody out there has posted some of that and I haven't been able to effectively search that to have like gap lessons for the time when I'm trying to figure out making my own of those. So if y'all run across any ready-made stuff like that, that would be great to share and I'll do the same.
Yeah, and to tag along with that, also like PDFs of like basic, for example, filling out notes on a staff, where you can send it to them and they can type the answer in without having to print it out. Because I found some ways to do it, but you have to have like a subscription, $15 every month. I may end up having to do that. But if there's an easier way or a free way, let me know.
I wonder if the Flat app does that. I don't know.
It does. You can use Google Slides, and you can screenshot basically the PDF and upload it, and there's a way to like edit it and stuff into Google Slides, and you put it as your background, and then you can insert notes, or you can have them draw in the notes if there's like a pencil or something like that. I think there's some videos and stuff out there that show you how to convert PDFs to the like interactive notebook, you know, stuff that students can use and do. So, but again, it takes time. You know, it's like a lot of time consuming things to get done. So.
Okay, thank you.
Did y'all say Flat app?
It's an add-on in the Google Suite, Nathan. It's you like I had to do it on my personal one because it's not allowed for school yet. But if you search like more in the Google Suite and you type Flat for Docs, you can add on, and that lets you put little musical snippets in your document. And then what I'm hoping works out, like when I make an assignment that is on that, I checked for it to allow the students to make a copy of my file so that when they're working on it, they're not altering my document, and then they can type in like that's an E, that's a C, that's a B, or whatever, and then they turn it into me and I get like what they've written underneath it, or there's beat 1, there's beat 2, there's beat 3, or whatever. Now, I say that, or I haven't turned any of this in yet. I haven't like gotten assignments back, so I hope it works that way. And then the same thing I did with the piano stuff, which I put a picture of a piano and then put an arrow on middle C and then said, you put an arrow on this note, to have them like make a copy of it. And I hope that ends up working. But again, like I'm gonna have to figure that out as I'm getting assignments that I can't read. So that's gonna be fun. But anyway, that's what I'm hoping. But Flat hasn't been approved yet. My administration said no because they sell, or they, I guess maybe we don't know what happens to the kids' names and stuff once they add it onto their Google Suite. And so we're not allowed to release any information to a third party. And I guess there's paperwork that can be done about that. Flat, F-L-A-T. But I know Josh Stearman said that he contacted Inky Landry, which is our parish. So Tangipahoa Hope people, I don't know who your person is, but I do hope that if one parish can do it, everybody can do it. But and I think she was looking into it to like contact the company, I guess, to find out what it is they do with information. Just unfortunately, things that are free, that's often how they make their money, is by selling info. And I get that. And you know, there may be paperwork we can do to like have parents consent to that, but you know, that's so far out above my pay grade that I have no idea. I know my administration said if it's something you really want, then maybe we can look into doing the Act 677 paperwork. But the truth is, I can't complete that. Like I don't, if we get enough no's, I don't know. I just am really hoping it works, because right now I'm having to make everything on my personal drive and then download it to my computer and then upload it to my school Google Drive. But if we've got like 3 weeks at school without kids and I can't work on anything, like I quit.
I wonder, has anyone tried musictheory.net on Google Classroom? Because there's a lot of
Yeah, and you can, absolutely. I use it with the Google website that I use, and what's cool with that is you can embed websites into it where they can be on the website but still be within Google Sites.
Oh, cool.
So like if I have notes on the side of like how to do it, they can have the notes right there and be on the website at the same time with musictheory.net. It's cool.
Okay, cool. Because I actually used that site a lot last year for some solfege assignments. They had to complete a weekly thing for me, and it worked out really well for my choir kids. So I'm just assuming.
Can you see who's turning that in? Like, I know the musictheory.net stuff, like it's just signed in, but I'm worried that like, would we have the same problem with Flat if they have to put in a, like sign up for an account? It's the same issue.
Well,
with the assignments I provided, there's a link on there. You provide your students with the link. It's a comprehensive link for everyone. And once they complete the assignment and they get their score, whatever they're doing, note, naming, rhythm, solfege, whatever, they can fill in their information or initials, what period they are, whatever, and they can send it to you that way. I'm not sure
I
how
also
that works.
have them take a screenshot and email it to me.
Yeah,
So if I
that's
got it from them, I see their screenshot, I see their score, and
Correct.
then not anywhere else on the website.
yeah.
Well, Hammond High has grown like another 500 kids, and they have my advanced choir and beginning choir at the same time. And the band teacher has a band class and a piano class at the same time.
Oh, no.
So on a side note, that's another fun thing to try and figure out.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. They can't
So I
take-
really might have to do what you guys are talking about, just have everybody do unison music, because I'm not going to start trying to have beginning choir work on this. Well, no, I don't know how that's, but yeah, that's fun.
Oh, no.
Did y'all have anything else you wanted to talk about? I mean, I know we can have one of these meetings and as the year gets started and see where we are.
Yeah,
Right.
just extra
I-
prayers for Elizabeth.
Yes.
Hearing that.
Jeez.
Thanks.
I know there's still so many unknowns, but we got this, y'all. We can do this.
Yeah.
Right. It's temporary.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
But then also for those kids that are seniors and or this might be their only
Yeah.
year in choir, then
Temporary, yeah.
it's pretty high stakes.
Yeah.
And my biggest concern is just trying to maintain a program after this is over and recruiting from the junior high level. I mean, they're not going to have choir either. So I thought about that, and it's just recruiting for next year and maintaining, and it's kind of scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been meeting with Amy Pratt from Southeastern, also discussing about our university chorus and North Shore Chorale community choir, and like just taking a year off of that will completely, like you said, hurt recruiting for the future, etc. So we're trying to brainstorm and come up with ideas of what to do and how to still stay relevant even when we're not doing what we normally do. And we talked with several other students and kind of broke down what is choir really, like what is the most important part of choir that we take away from it. And of course there's the singing, but the community aspect of what we do is as important or possibly more important than the singing. And we can still do that in this time when we can't sing. And so we're, one thing we've looked at is structuring choir in kind of the same way we normally do choir, like have a warm-up time, have a rehearsal time, have announcements, have some sort of historical background time, and like for each week plan activities that kind of fit into that schedule, like we normally do. It's just instead of singing, rehearsing, we might have a student present something, or we might do some sort of group activity. And we've been thinking more so towards virtual because the feeling is from Southeastern, from all the faculty I've talked to, that within several weeks we'll be back virtual. So some ideas, Zoom has breakout groups. You can break out into specific groups and you can assign those groups or have them completely random. And one idea I thought was really cool was we could have the group divided into 4 different subgroups, and each different group will talk about a different topic. And then we come back together, and then we split into groups again, 4 different groups, where one person from each of those groups is now in each of the 4 groups. And so that person, the one representative from their group, shares what they learned about. And so that's a way to do a group activity so everyone is involved and everyone shares without a lot of effort from you to like police and make sure everything is in the right place. So I like that idea. You can do warm-ups virtually, and I'm sure your kids would love to do warm-ups virtually, probably, some of them anyway. Even like everybody's muted, but you're still leading it and you can see them participating. You can still sing and like have your audio playing a track to sing with, and everybody sings with it. They'll be muted, of course, but that's fine. One thing that I thought about that was like really mind-blowing is when we sing in choir, we don't normally get to see the faces of our fellow people that are singing with us, but on Zoom, when you're singing, you get to see everybody's face. So there's advantage there in this time that you could use, and that goes back to building community and unity. And maybe we're not for this year focusing on being the most amazing choir singers or the most amazing choir, but we can be the most amazing community, I think. That's all I have to say.
Good ideas.
Right. Anybody else?
To answer your question, Melanie, I have used Google Meet. I found that the audio and like video and stuff was not as good as Zoom. It's interesting because when I first started, I was using Google Meet instead of Zoom, but I found that the connection with Zoom worked a lot better when I was meeting with my students than Google Meet. But I know in Tangipahoa Parish, from what I've been told, we're not allowed to use Google Meet. They're not letting us use it. We have to use Zoom because they paid for the big features and everything like that. So they're not even letting us use Google Meet.
Bye.
Thank you, Stephanie. I haven't tried Google Meet, and the truth is I don't know, like, if we have to go virtual again. I know Zoom got allowed because they like put an acceptable use policy together for Zoom or whatever, but now that everything is like being transitioned to the Google Suite, I didn't know if that was going to go with it. And I have zero experience with Google Meet. I can do Zoom, and we did some Zoom rehearsals, but again, it was like what Caleb said, where like I played the piano in my living room and they all muted themselves. And then I said, did it go well? Was it okay or was it terrible? And then they just all gave me whatever it was. And then I was like, cool, next song. Like, anybody have questions? No? Okay. And like, so, I mean, it was like time they were singing and like looking at the music, but they could have been like, in the key of everyone. Who knows? Like, I don't know.
But at least you're singing, or acting like they're singing.
Yeah, so they get a lot of like ceiling fans and like bookshelves and like bedroom where I'm like, I don't even know if there's a human in there, if their mom was like, you're supposed to be on the computer, I know it. And like, who knows? Did y'all like make them have them show their faces, or like did they mute their their video and stuff? Like, did anybody have stuff they had to? I guess none of us did stuff we had to do because it was all figured out kind of as you go. I know the private schools here had to meet and they had to be able to see their faces. And I was like, that was probably smart. but I was looking at a lot of ceiling fans and stuff. I think it was their phones and they just like put them down and then like forgot. Anyway, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Crossing our fingers we don't move backwards, but I do think it's a real possibility.
I'm just glad we're allowed to grade again because no one was putting in any effort at the end of the year. It was pretty bad. I had about one student doing everything.
Yeah. I had to.
All right. Anybody got anything else before we head out of here? Awesome. Well, it's great to be in a group with other choir directors and to just share and commiserate and maybe plan something. But yeah, I think we'll just have to wait and see. St. Tammany, of course, has the advantage that other school districts will be opening up ahead of them now, and has that you have that extra time. Sorry, Tangi people, but you get to be the guinea pigs. Yeah, but you said y'all are meeting virtually only for how
Until
long?
Labor Day, and then they'll see after that.
Wow. Well, then maybe y'all won't be the guinea pigs really, because there are school districts that are actually opening face-to-face all at once. Have y'all
Yeah,
seen in Georgia the pictures of like
Yeah,
tons of kids in the hallway, some not wearing masks? Like,
I know. So I hope that's not going to be us.
mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, for the one,
got-
they're having a soft start. So like, there's only going to be a certain amount of kids coming in at a time for like the first 2 weeks, where they're coming in, picking up the Chromebooks, and they're staying in the same classroom for the whole day, getting a lecture on what it's going to be like until they meet in person, and then they do virtual after that.
mhm.
So our freshmen, we're not even going to have them for another 3 weeks or something. But seniors start next week, so it's kind of weird. But eventually, they'll all be virtual.
Hi, Lindsay. Your hand is raised. Is that on purpose? No, maybe not. Okay.
How do you raise a hand?
Good question.
Oh.
I don't know if I can raise my hand as the admin.
I can do a thumbs up. Oh, here we go. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it. Your hand
Oh,
is
that's
raised
good.
now.
Hey,
Wow.
lower hand.
May,
Cool.
may I ma- Hi, guys. I came in late. Do you mind if I make a comment real quick? Y'all hear me?
Sure.
Okay. You know, I took over at Mandeville High in the middle of the year last year, and then this year I've been basically cleaning the classroom. I'm repainting my classroom, hanging keyboards because there's no piano students. So making better storage and those sorts of things. But while I've been on my way to the school, officially, and this is, please don't quote me on this, but officially the school is closed to anybody coming in. However, the football team is practicing. They're not practicing any sort of social distancing. They're not wearing masks. They're out there, you know, with their shirts off and hitting each other. And I walked through the gym the other day and the entire volleyball team was in there practicing, huddled up. You know, these kids are not practicing the social distancing that we're looking at, you know, that we're expected to maintain in the classroom, and the coaches aren't encouraging them to stay away from each other and not breathe on each other. So I'm very, very, very concerned about what's actually going to happen. You mentioned the pictures from Georgia. That's exactly what we're going to end up seeing, and these kids are going to either refuse to wear their masks because of family or, you know, medical, they can, you know, say that they've got a medical condition or something. I'm very, very, very nervous about the opening of the school year and the challenges that we face with virtual learning, especially for our craft, are great, you know, as many of you have already noted. But I'm just wanted to make that comment that I'm extremely nervous about how this is gonna how this is going to work.
It's definitely concerning.
Well, we all have each other to kind of rely on too. And I think where one maybe is weak in one area, someone can, we can help each other. And if the only way we can fail is to give up.
I'm just
Well,
glad we still have a job.
Exactly. I saw where the school board, the Federation of Teachers, had put out an infographic that's got all these different, levels of what we can expect if we get sick, if a family member gets sick, we have to take care of them as far as pay and everything is concerned. But in the last, if you get a chance to go to their Facebook page, the last block talks about what we are supposed to do if the school isn't following the rules properly. And it's like, do you really want to be that whistleblower saying, these kids aren't staying apart from each other, and the coaches or teachers are not encouraging them to stay apart properly, and there's not enough sanitization stations throughout the building, or what we've been given from the school's budget to spend on those implements in the classroom, sanitizing, hand sanitizer, stuff to clean their desk and chairs when they're done in class, given enough time to be able to do those things. Now, we don't even know if we're going to be on a block schedule or on a 7-hour schedule. We were told last week we're going to a block schedule, but then this week we're told through another email, well, no, hopefully we'll be able to get back to our 7-hour schedule every day. So I don't know. It's just, everything is so unknown for what's going to happen, and it's frustrating.
It's my understanding all the high schools are going to be on a block scheduling. That was from Covington. That wasn't up to individual schools. So that's interesting that you said that, because I was under the impression that was not, that everybody was under 6 through 12 or whatever, 7 through 12 was under block schedule.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. At least that eliminates the other variable of possibly, not knowing really what's going to happen. So if I can plan on that, then we can move forward.
And it was my understanding, because that was fewer transitions and they weren't changing classes 6 times to be in the hallway, but only 4 times, or actually
Right.
3, because they go to their first hour as soon as they get there, which, so that's my understanding. Now I could be wrong and things could change. Like, I don't make any decisions, but that's
Sure.
my understanding.
When is your all's first day of in-service?
The 20th.
Everybody's going on the 20th? Okay.
Except for
What
our
are we gonna
TNG
do?
folks
We
that
went
are
to
there
the,
now.
What do you guys anticipate us doing for like almost 15 days of in-service, or 10 days of in-service? Talking about cleanliness, talking about how we're going to get these kids sanitized when they walk through the room. Having our administrators aren't even at the school right now.
They can't be. My husband's an administrator. They are almost to their contract days of what they're paid for. And I think they were really hoping that they would be able to stay and work, but they were told Friday that they were not, like Friday was their last day, and they go back like right when we do, because they only have like 10 more days on their contract. So they have to split it between the beginning of school and the ending of school, because they still have to do job fair and all that at the end of the school year. And that, anyway, so I think administrators were told, or at least my husband at Slidell Junior High. He was up there today working anyway, but they, this is not part of their, like, they were, if they're there today, it's because, for free.
Because they want to be, right? Well, wow. Well, we'll see what happens on August 20th. Are we going to have another Zoom meeting? And I'm sorry I was late. I was dropping my daughter off at her dad's. Are we going to have another meeting before the 20th for the high school teachers?
Alyssa mentioned the possibility of that, and I'll talk with her and ask her. And if there is, then she'll send out the email to everyone.
Okay. Did you all
I
discuss
think it would be helpful.
Oh yeah. Did you all already discuss the info, the PDF of the study that Josh put out on the Facebook page?
No. Has anyone had the time to look at that.
Right.
I glanced
been-
at it, but I didn't have time to really read it. Something about, sounds like it's showing that singing is more like talking now instead of a lot more with
I
the
tried to
air.
read it, but I'm going to be honest, it was a lot of charts that I really didn't understand what the scales were. It said like something was per cubic centimeter on this side, and then time was on this side, but then they had like pop singing, hymn singing, like it had different things, and like yeah, I couldn't, I need a bullet point of like, this is how far apart you have to be. Like, that's what I couldn't find. So I did try to read it, and forgive my like complete incompetence in reading research. Like, I've never had a statistics class, so I tried to like make some sense of it. So I looked at it, but it meant nothing to me. So if you guys, you know, can read that and understand in a way that I can, you know, make that useful, I would love that.
And from what I understood, it's only the second preliminary report to all of the studies that or that study that's going on specifically. So like definitive information is still weeks or months away. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and one last question before, I know we've only got a couple minutes, but have y'all seen the Broadway world masks with the like box on the front of the face made out of muslin? Have y'all seen those?
Yeah, I ordered one. I just haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. It looks like there's an opportunity to buy bulk, and they're less expensive if you buy them in bulk. I don't know what the shipping is. I haven't actually like done a test run of trying to order them. When you get it, could you maybe send an email out or something just to let everybody know how you like it and how it feels?
Sure. Yeah, I figured I'd order one just to like see. It looks a little funny. It kind of looks like a duck bill. And I was like, gosh, the kids are like never gonna do this. But I was like, I'm gonna get one and, you know, sing into it, because I mean, you know, if it could be something helpful for churches or church choirs, or, you know, even if we can't sing inside, I know maybe some other places can move forward on that before we do, if it's safer. But yeah, I'd be happy to send out some info once I get it. I can take some super cool pics of my duck bill mask.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I think the shipping was like $7 or something, and the mask itself was like 20 something. I think it came out to a low 30s, but you're right. It was like a certain price if you order this much, and ordering one was like the most expensive way to do it. But I was like, I don't want to order 40 if this isn't, you know, something worthwhile. But yeah, I'd be happy to like, I'd let you guys know what I think.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, good.
Cool.
Thank y'all for letting me make those couple of comments and ask those questions. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Any last comments? Okay, and if you would like a copy of this, the recording of this entire meeting, or if you know someone who is not here that you think would benefit from that, just email Alyssa. She's going to have the actual recording, and she can send that to each of you if you need it. All right. Well, thank you all for being here and for sharing your ideas, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll see if we can meet again before everything gets rolling, or after things get rolling for our Tangi people.
Thank you, Caleb.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.